2 weeks after federal charges come down against Jackson's mayor, the Hinds County DA, and a former city council president, we're learning records we've been trying to get for weeks could be part of the scandal too. Investigative reporter CJ LeMaster joins us with new information tonight. CJ?
Well, Howard, Jackson Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba told 3 on Your Side today that our reporting from last week, where we found the mayor had not filed his campaign finance reports for 3 years, was related to the federal bribery case, and as such, he couldn't talk about it. Campaign finance records are a key part of the federal case against Lumumba because it would only further show that he received $50 grand in alleged contributions to influence a future real estate deal. Now, the mayor's statement coming as a bit of a surprise, though, because the records he would have filed would have been actually well before Lumumba ever allegedly received that money. His statement also gives a glimpse into other documents the feds could be trying to get as well. Can you speak to your campaign's failure to file annual campaign finance reports for the last 3 years? I know you briefly talked about it October 21st. State law says the elected official shall not be paid any salary if they are not current on those reports, that the municipality shall not pay that public official any salary. I know you've been paid. I'm assuming you've been paid during this time. Can you respond to that?
That is associated with this case, and so I will not speak to it. I've spoken to it before, and I would leave my response to what it was.
Now, city records show as recently as this summer, Lumumba's salary was $120,000 a year. And as far as we can tell, he's still being paid during this time. Last month, Lumumba admitted not filing a campaign finance report and said it wasn't uncustomary for his campaign to do so.